So today we're going to talk about Nono Banana and Sora. We're diving into a story about how these two AI tools were used in a way, well, in a way that pretty much nobody has seen before. And the wildest part, it all started by accident. But what it uncovered? Wow. It was like finding a hidden cinematic engine that could literally change everything.
Yeah, this is what most people think, right? We see them as, normal AI tools. Something you'd use for some basic video generation, for knocking out quick social media clips. And hey, that's a totally fair assumption.
But that assumption, it's completely wrong. The truth is, these tools have this secret, hidden potential that most of us haven't even begun to scratch the surface of. So, how did anyone figure this out? Well, it wasn't some grand, planned-out discovery. Nope. It all came from a simple late-night experiment that took let's just say, a very unexpected and pretty strange turn. Picture this. Someone's just messing around, asking the AI NoNo for a simple intro for a video. Nothing serious, no big plan in mind. It was just a casual, hey, what can you do kind of interaction. But NoNo's response was anything but casual. Instead of just spitting out an intro, it asks this question. It wasn't just responding anymore, it was taking the lead. And that was the moment everything changed. And what it came up with was just staggering. A full, complete 30-day content strategy. I'm talking 30 video ideas, 30 hooks, 30 thumbnails, even 30 scripts. And the final instruction it gave, paired with Sora for visual execution. All of a sudden, Nono wasn't just an assistant. It was a full-blown strategic director.
Okay, so what do you do when AI gives you a plan like that? You follow it. The user connected Nono's output to Sora. And this is where things went from a simple experiment to a living, breathing, creative process. And the result? It wasn't just some generic, stock-looking clips. Oh no, Sora started generating these stunning, cinematic scenes that looked like they were ripped straight out of a sci-fi blockbuster. We're talking neon cities, camera shots that seemed to breathe, visuals the person running this whole thing had never even imagined. It was like Nono became the mind, right? The strategist, the writer, the creative director, calling the shots. And Sora became the body, the visual powerhouse, bringing all these complex ideas to life. They weren't two separate tools anymore. They were one single cohesive system.
But here's the kicker. Even that powerful connection, that was just the surface. It turns out there's a secret method, a hidden workflow that almost nobody knows about. And that is what unlocks the true, absolutely jaw-dropping power of this AI team-up. And this hidden workflow, it wasn't just stumbled upon by chance. Notion revealed it itself. It basically laid out a new method that completely changes how you communicate with it to unlock its full creative power.
Nono called it the 4-layer prompt stack. So instead of one simple command, you build it in layers. First, you start with a main concept. Then you add the emotion layer. What do you want the audience to feel? Next up is momentum, which controls the story's pacing. And finally, you have the specific Sora layer for the visuals. Seriously, using this felt like finding a key to unlock a whole second brain inside the AI.
So why does this work so well? Well, because of Sora's own hidden talent, it understands something called emotion commands. And folks, this is the secret sauce. You're not just telling it what to shoot, you're telling it how the camera itself should feel. Think about this for a second. A prompt like, make the camera feel nervous, actually caused the footage to have this subtle shake, almost like a rapid heartbeat. Or make the camera breathe made the shot gently expand and contract. See? Sora isn't just a robot following orders, it's interpreting feelings. That's exactly why the results are so incredibly cinematic. Okay, and if you thought that was cool, this is where things get truly mind-bending. When you combine Nono's strategic planning with Sora's emotional interpretation, they create a self-improving feedback loop. They teach each other. Here's how the cycle works. Nono writes a script. Sora visualizes it. Then, and this is the absolute key, Nono analyzes what Sora made and rewrites the script to be even better. Then Sora takes that improved script and makes new visuals. It's just this constant loop of refinement over and over again. And the result of this loop? A staggering 10x increase in quality. Yeah, 10 times. And get this, that 10x jump didn't take weeks of tweaking.
It happened after just 3 cycles of this loop. The system was basically teaching itself how to get better, with almost no human help at all. And that led to this massive realization. This wasn't just editing a video anymore. This was watching a creative process evolve all on its own. It was getting smarter, more emotional with every single cycle. You can imagine what happened next, right? This just blew the doors wide open for all these insane creative experiments. People started trying things like adding a shadow character that just appears randomly in the background, or creating parallel timelines of the same story but with totally different emotional tones. They were even embedding echo voice dialogue to foreshadow future videos. The potential just became, well, limitless. So when you put all this together, it's pretty clear we're looking at something huge. This is pointing to a whole new era, not just for AI, but for human creativity itself. But I know what some of you might be thinking. A fair question, right? If 2 AIs are doing most of the heavy lifting here, creatively speaking, isn't that cheating? Well, the answer to that is pretty definitive. No, it's not cheating. It's the future. This isn't about finding a lazy shortcut. It's about learning to collaborate with a completely new kind of creative partner. This is how stories are going to be told. This is how entire universes are going to be built. We're standing right on the edge of a new age, an era where stories can literally write themselves and visualize themselves. And if this is what's possible today, just stop and imagine what tomorrow is going to bring. This is really, truly only the beginning.